Black Talk Media.
LIHEAP grants through PGW are available, and 1 in 3 households in Philadelphia are eligible to receive up to a $1,000 grant to pay for their natural gas heating bill this winter. PGW has made it easier than ever to see if you're eligible and to apply. Simply text MONEY to 77037, call 215-235-1000, or visit pgworks.com/LIHEAP. PGW, helping ease minds this winter. Tune in to EcoWord Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 11 a.m. for the PA Lottery EcoWord Tip of the Day. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous, because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Thank you!
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
We are the home of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L. O. G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Family, I am on 10 already because I have truly missed you. I have missed all of you. Do you hear me? With every fiber of my being, I have. I had no intention of being away from you for so long, but as a result of trains, planes, and automobiles, I was left with no choice, and it saddened me deeply. It truly did. I do want to express my gratitude to everyone that came to the shows I had last week. I was with the Will Downing crew in Detroit, so thank you, and with Gerald Veasley in Washington, D.C., so thank you. I just want to thank all of you for your love, and my sincerest gratitude to those of you who came out and to those of you who wanted to do so. It means the world to me. It really does. It does. Happy birthday to all of my love bugs celebrating today. That's right. That's right. I'm sending extra celebratory love to you if today is your actual birthday. On that note, I do want to say happy birthday to Princess Idea Gamble and to the one and only DJ Jazzy Jeff. That's right. That's right. Our family members are celebrating. So, family, you know what I like to do. If you are joining us by way of social media, then let us know. Share a comment, or you can even give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. You know, Nick and I, we will take the love any way you care to share it. You know we will. And to our family members who are joining us with heavy hearts. Yeah, yeah. I'm talking to each and every one of you. I just want you to know that you are so loved and you are not alone. I am sending you extra love and hugs on behalf of your entire tribe and village. Okay? Okay? Just know that we've got you. We've got you. I have a reminder for you, family. Yes, I do, about the Cafe Mocha Show. Tune in to Cafe Mocha every Sunday from 8 to 10 p.m. Cafe Mocha is radio from a woman's perspective. Check out the flavor from the hosts, comedian and actress Lonnie Love, hip hop legend Yo Yo, and broadcast veteran Angelique Perrin, as they all bring their own point of view to today's issues, social commentary, celebrity interviews, and self help advice. All of this wrapped in soundtracks of urban contemporary music. That's right, family. That's Cafe Mocha, Sundays at 8 p.m. only on Word, Progressive Black Talk Media. I do want to say hello to some family members that are checking in. Eric, hi, Eric. Welcome back home. Yes, yay. Yes, I am warm and relaxed. And you see, I'm on 1,000, as I said. And I'm just happy to be back here with y'all. I have missed y'all. Yes, I have. And Malcolm, hey there, Malcolm. There's my message. He's sharing that he's watching and listening from West Mount Airy. Welcome back. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And he says, hey, Nick. Ellis is checking in as well. Hey there, Ellis. Hey there. Always nice to have you all here joining us. Family, let's get started. Let's get started. I want to introduce you to our first guest tonight. Yes, I do. He is an American civil rights activist, community development leader, author, and founder and president of the Woodson Center, which is a nonprofit research and demonstration organization that supports neighborhood based initiatives to revitalize low income communities. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than the one and only Bob Woodson. Well, hello there.
It's pleased to be here.
I've got to work on my sound effects because we should have some applause.
I love it.
But so happy to have. There we go. Thank you, Nick.
I love it.
Nick, thank
Good
you.
engineer there. Good producer.
You see that ass? Can you see that? See that? So first of all, just thank you for coming to spend some time with us and to share with us and to impart some knowledge and all that good stuff. I did share with our family a little bit about you, but because the hour goes by so fast, I'm going to jump right in. Would you please tell us a little more about you, from where you come and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I was born in South Philadelphia, 18th and Garrett Street, right near Dickinson and Reed. Youngest of 5 children. My dad died when I was 9 years old, leaving my mother with a 5th grade education and 5 children to raise, which means that she didn't have time to read to us or attend PTA. She was too busy working.
Mm-hmm.
So that meant that I had to rely more on my peers. And so there were 6 of us that we called ourselves the fellas. have been friends for life. 3 of us are still around. One of them, your listeners may know by name, and that was Matt Robinson. He was Gordon on Sesame Street, first black guy on Sesame Street with the afro.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my buddies, and he died 15 years ago, and I was able to go to Hollywood and eulogize him. His daughter is Holly Robinson, the actress, married to Rodney Peake.
I forgot that.
She and her mother Dolores comes back to Philadelphia a couple times to visit over the years. So anyway, so I grew up, and because my fellows were a year older than me, when I went to Overbrook High School, moved to West Philadelphia.
Overbrook.
When my fellows graduated, they were a year older than me. I found myself unaffiliated. So I dropped out of high school when I was 17 and went into the military, the Air Force, and went from New York to Mississippi for training. So that's my first experience with raw racism.
Yeah.
And got my training there and went into the space program. Finished, got my GED in the Air Force and took some college courses. I took courses in math at the University of Miami when I could not walk on the campus. So I have 12 credits from the University of Miami because the Air Force had extension courses on the base. And so after that, I finished and came out the military, a young man that went to Cheney, graduated from Cheney University, and then worked, got a master's from University of Penn School of Social Work. So I'm a Philadelphia born, bred, and dead.
I'm okay, through and through. Philadelphia through and through. Wow, what history.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I got turned on to working with it. You know, I was a correction officer at 2nd and Luzerne Youth Correction Institution when I was working my way through Cheney.
okay.
And I was locked behind 3 doors with 65 juveniles in there from gang murder to truancy, no program. And a lot of them were like the kids I grew up with. And I kind of had a burning bush experience before I knew what a burning bush was. Six of those boys I would have adopted if I had the money to do so.
Oh, wow.
And so when I just loved working there. And so I redirected my life to working among low-income kids, particularly Black gang members. And so then I got involved in the civil rights movement in Westchester, Pennsylvania. I moved out in the home of Bayard Rustin.
Oh, wow.
And so I had a chance to meet Dr. King through Bayard Rustin. So that's kind of a little background on me.
That's a lot of background on you. You look at the family. Do you hear this? Do you hear this? He said, I did this, I did that. He didn't just say this and that. He dropped gems. He dropped pearls. You met Dr. King. You were in the Air Force. I want to start with one thing you said when you were talking about the racism you experienced, or the first, with your introduction, your biggest introduction. You said New York to Mississippi. That had to have been like culture shock. First of all, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. But at what age were you when?
17.
7.
3 months into my 17th birthday, I quit school and went into the Air Force. And after 3 months of basic training in Sampson in New York, I went to get crew flight training, airborne electronics. I was in the space program. And so they sent me to Mississippi for about 8 months for training. And that's when I saw it up close and personal. And so they gave me, then I got involved in the space program. And then I went to Florida, which is also segregated. Mm-hmm. And so the rest of my enlistment, I spent in flying on planes and tracking missiles and doing things like that. And there were a lot of challenges throughout that whole time. But I never let those challenges define who I am. Mm-hmm. And that attitude has served me to this day.
You know, having just met you today, I believe every word. I believe you didn't. And, you know, we're the better for it because we get to learn from you. I would you talk with us about some of the challenges? Would you share with us?
Yeah, the challenges. Well, first of all, the challenges that I faced. I left the civil rights movement after having led demonstrations in Westchester, Pennsylvania. I left the movement on the issue of forced busing for integration. I was always against forced busing. And so a lot of my civil rights colleagues said, well, Bob, if you're taking the same position as the Klan and John Birch Society. And I said, if Hitler likes classical music, am I supposed to not like it?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you don't take your positions based upon who agrees or disagrees. I was against it. And so I got into some conflicts with my peers, my civil rights peers. But this was the biggest thing we picketed outside of a pharmaceutical company. And when they desegregated, they hired 9 Black PhD chemists. When we approached these Black professionals to join our movement, they refused and said they got these jobs because they were qualified. When this happened, I realized that there was a bait and switch game going on where one group of Blacks were using the conditions of another group of Blacks to make the case for why resources should be deployed. And when they were, the people who suffered most did not benefit from the change. So I realized, as Dr. King said, what good does it do to have the opportunity to live in the neighborhood of your choosing or eat in a restaurant if you don't have the means to exercise that right? So I began to place a lot of my time and attention, not just opening doors and removing racial barriers, but preparing people to walk through the doors to take advantage of these opportunities. And so, but the biggest, the barrier was, I believe, one of the worst things that happened to us when we talked about the goal was not desegregation, but integration, which means that we boycotted our own businesses, our own schools. There was an outflow of support for our own institutions. And so I've always been involved in, and so that was one of the barriers that I faced. And to this day, that's still a challenge. There's not enough debate within the Black community as to the way forward for low-income Blacks. The two communities, I keep telling people, just because someone looks like you, it doesn't mean they're looking out for you.
There's so much, oh my goodness, there's so much truth to that statement. I'm listening to you talk about this same issue that is long standing, that has been in existence since forever. And I'm not expecting you to speak for everybody, but I would like to know, in your opinion, why do you believe or feel or think that we're still stuck with that mindset, that we've not moved forward in that regard?
Well, because people have, with Dr. King, everybody talks about his I Have a Dream speech, but the one that Nelson Mandela quoted is what I quote, and that is letter from a Birmingham jail. When Dr. King said that the biggest stumbling block to Black progress is not the White Citizens Council or the KKK. It's the white moderate. That lukewarm acceptance from people of goodwill is harder to confront than outright rejection of people of ill will. And he said that we must reach down into the deep, dark regions of our soul and sign and ink our own Emancipation Proclamation. That's what Malcolm X was saying too, that we should never forget that our destiny is determined not by what white people do or do not do, but it's what we do ourselves. We used to have institutions within our community that really delivered us from a lot of the pain and suffering. We abandoned those institutions and instead turned to government for help. And that has brought about, I think, wholesale destruction of our community.
I've always been curious to know why we lean so heavily on the opinions of others, why we don't look to each other, why we've not. And I say this because at one point in time, we had a bond as a people. We were so much stronger. We had businesses, we had family, if you will, as a culture. And we're so far removed from that now. And I struggle with understanding why we've gotten so far away from it.
Well, this is what we when I'm 37, I'm 86.
Jesus. Oh.
When I was born in South Philadelphia, and 18th and Garrett, 95% of the families had a man and a woman raising children. Elderly people could walk in South Philadelphia at night without fear of being assaulted by their grandchildren.
Oh.
I never heard a gunfire the whole time I lived in South and West Philly.
Oh.
I never heard of children being shot in their cribs. In this city where I am right now in Washington, D.C., last year, 100 children were shot. 19 of them died. 12-year-olds are armed with guns, robbing people. One 13-year-old had 9 carjackings. He just got killed 2 weeks ago because he robbed the wrong person and they shot him. And so these are problems that have nothing to do with our racial past or slavery or anything.
Mm-hmm.
This is an enemy that exists within the Black community, but there are people who are pimping these problems and profiting from the despair. They don't live in these communities that are suffering these kind of problems. They are living in safe, secure condominiums that have guards on the door while talking about defund the police that has an adverse effect on people in these neighborhoods.
Agreed. Oh, my goodness. On that note, family, listen, it's time for us to take just a short break. Welcome. If you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life, and we are talking with the one and only Bob Woodson. But we've got so much more of a conversation to have. Family, stay with us because we're coming right back.
Stand with Word Radio as we continue to provide dynamic, progressive programming to inform and empower our people. We're living in unprecedented times, and we must stand together to protect and preserve Black Talk Media. Become a 4Word member with the annual membership price of just $90 or a digital member starting at just $5 per month. If you're already a 4Word member, sign up, family member, or a friend to help us continue making history. Start or renew your 4Word membership today. Visit wordradio.com/4word or wordradio.com/membership.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Stay connected on the go with the new and improved Word Radio app. Search Word Radio in your app store. Stream every show with increased clarity. Easily access Word TV, EcoWord, and Livelihood. Start or renew your 4Word membership and buy Word swag. Remember, Black Media Matters. Get the new and improved Word Radio app today. Available on Google Play and the Apple App Store.
No, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
say something, and don't you ever forget it. That success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD with yours truly, Carol Riddick. We are talking with the one and only Bob Woodson, and we've begun a conversation about civil rights, activism, and just life, existence. Mr. Woodson, because I keep looking at the time and I have so many questions for you, so many because your life is of so much interest to me. There's so much that you've accomplished that I want to share with our family members, but I'm trying to pace myself because I want them to get a good idea of all of your accomplishments. I do want to share some of our family members are continuing to check in. Cheryl Hicks Lucas is sharing. Good evening, family. Thank you for your service, Mr. Woodson, and God bless you. Nasir Butler is checking in, and he's sending peace and blessings to everybody. And Eric shares, Mr. Woodson, that's quite the resume. Thank you for your service in all the capacities in which you've been. Henry has a question. Henry asks, was integration bad for us, like sports and other things, like business? Clarence Thomas benefited, then turned his back on us. He's curious to know.
You know, what I believe we should pursue the opposite. You know, I had this debate with Julius Chambers. He was a black PhD lawyer from Harvard before the New York Bar Association. And we were debating about integration versus desegregation. The opposite of segregation is desegregation, and the goal is pluralism, not integration. So I said to Julius, and I said, ask you this. If we have two schools, the first one, A, is integrated where there's diminished education. School B is black where there is excellent education. Where should we send our children? He said to A. In other words, I said, then there's no debate. I believe if we pursue excellence, then we will attract people to us. Marva Collins was a public school teacher in Chicago and became frustrated and started her own academy right there in the worst crime-ridden neighborhood. And she took kids that failed in the public school, and she began to teach them. She was so good that whites began to bring their children in limousines to her academy because she had a center of excellence. Lilla Green in Germantown, many years ago, the Ivy Leaf School was a black private school in Germantown that pursued excellence. The kids were reading in first grade, in kindergarten. And so if you pursue excellence, then others will want to now in our studies, there were 5 high schools at the turn of the century, one in New York, Baltimore, Atlanta, and New Orleans. They had used textbooks, crowded classrooms, half the budgets of white schools. Every one of those black schools out-tested every white school in each of those cities. That's a part of your history you need to know about. We write about them in our book, 1776. In those same schools, in 13 schools in Baltimore today, not a single child can read at grade level. Are you going to tell me that conditions were worse at the turn of the century during segregation than they are now? If race were the issue, how were we able to achieve back then that we can't today? But if you keep looking at life through the lens of race, you will not find the answers where you won't be looking for excellence. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for that. And I'm glad that you spoke about the 1776 Unites campaign. You kind of alluded to it. Would you talk with us about the ways in which 1776 Unites campaign addresses and or counters the 1619 project?
Very briefly, 1619 with Hannah Nicole Jones, she got together some journalists at the New York Times, and what she said, America should be defined by 1619. That's when 20 indentured servants came here. Eventually, all of them, but they were not slaves in that sense. But nevertheless, she is saying because of 1619, when the first 20 African slaves came here, America should be forever defined by slavery. And she even incorrectly concluded that the Revolutionary War was fought to defend slavery. She had to retract that. But she always, and she reaches no conclusions that are helpful to anybody. She says, as a consequence of America's birth defect of slavery, that all whites are oppressors, and we need reparations, and all blacks are victims, and that racism is in our DNA. Well, where do you go when you say something's in your DNA? And so what we need are solutions, not problems. She doesn't offer any solutions to the problems facing Black America. What we did at 1776, we went around the country and we looked at not how we were defined by slavery, but how we responded to slavery. When we were denied access to hotels, we built our own hotels. When we were denied access to hospitals, we built our own. The Mercy Douglas in Philadelphia. The Divine Lorraine Hotel was in Philadelphia. The Walla Haji in Atlanta. The Carver and Calvert Hotel in Overtown in Miami. I could go on and on. When we were denied access to schools, we built our own. You see, but our children today, we wanted to write 1776 in our publications, Red, White, and Black, so that these stories of success in the presence of oppression is what our children should be taught. We have a school curriculum that has been developed. It's been downloaded, 140,000 downloads of our curriculum that teaches children success. Yes, slavery was a fact, but none of us should be defined by the worst of what we were when we were young. How many of you listening here or watching want to be defined by the worst that you ever were?
Mm-hmm.
None of us do.
Before our family members ask, because I know everybody's going to want to know if the curriculum is still available, if it's still downloadable, and
yes.
If so,
and it's free,
and it's and so where do we find the curriculum?
It's 1776unites.com or woodsonscenter.org.
Family, I'm going to put that in the chat. I'm most definitely going to put that in the chat. And thank you for saying that, because I was going to ask you if you could talk with us about the Woodson Center. Please educate.
What we do, in fact, is we help low-income leaders, about 3,000 of them. We've served in 39 states to develop self-help issues, reducing gang violence in the city. In fact, my first book was about Sister Falaka Fatah in West Philadelphia. I spent 3 years working alongside Sister Falaka Fatah and David when they developed the House of Umoja. That in 74 and 76, that when Philadelphia was a leading gang capital of America. And within 1 year, she took it down from 46 gang deaths down to 2. Well, I was able to follow her around, and I wrote a book. My first book was A Summons to Life, when I followed Falaka and David and chronicled how they were able. So everything that I learned about intervention, I learned from Sister Fatah, listening to her and her husband David, and others. Curtis Jones, who's on city council, was a young gang member when I was in Philadelphia.
You see, my mouth is wide open. Mr. Woodson, I could talk with you forever. I could. There's so much that you have to share with us. I do want to share with you that our family members are continuing to check in and they're just loving everything that you're sharing. And I think you should know this. Joey, hi there, Joey, our beloved Joey Parham. He's clapping at everything that you're sharing. Ayatunde Garrett is sharing good evening. Mr. Woodson, wow. What a lesson you are giving. And Ayatunde shares that my mother also attended Cheney as well and is from South Philly. Our beloved Miss Rosalind Allen is checking in. Hi there. Hello. And Dolores Davis is sending greetings and is saying, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Miss Joanne Dorman is checking in as well and is sending peace and blessings, and we receive it. Henry shares years ago, Blacks could fight in wars but couldn't get the GI Bill. Then they built the projects, shipped jobs overseas, and you weren't allowed to have a man like living with you. The gangs would skip our block because of two-parent households, a mom and dad. Wow. And he does share that Elijah Muhammad said, build your own, build your own. So the Woodson Center, you were sharing with us, Mr. Woodson, what inspired you? Not even how.
Well, first of all, I worked for the Urban League for about 5 years.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Well, first of all, I worked for the Unitarian Service Committee. This is a white liberal group in Boston. And I got fired from there because I challenged why 70 cents of every dollar that was raised didn't go to the programs, but it went to fundraising and development. And so I got into a big huff there, and I said, well, and so then I left there and went with the Urban League for 5 years. And I realized even with that organization, the same thing was happening, that we use the conditions of poor Blacks as the bait. And when the benefits arrive, they go to not to the poor, but to professional service providers. And so it's with this frustration that I left, and I said there has to be an organization that is set up that works exclusively on behalf of low-income people. And so I established a center that we serve. We give out $1 million a year to small grants to 100 organizations throughout this country. So we make sure we're not like the poverty industry.
Wow.
Because in the last 20, let me tell you this, in the last 50 years, $22 trillion have been spent on programs to aid the poor. 70 cents of it goes not to the poor, but to professional service providers. And they ask which programs are fundable, not which problems are solvable.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yes.
You were sharing with me, family, we were having a conversation offline, and you were sharing with me that you have staff in 6 different states. Can you talk with us about that, how you navigate, how you manage, how the Woodson Center operates?
Yeah, in other words, let me just say that we believe that people are motivated to change when you give them victories that are possible, not constantly reminding them of injuries to be avoided. So what we do is we go around the country. If you say 70% of families are raising children in the Black community that are dysfunctional or not operating, it means 30% are not. Why don't we ever go to the homes of the people who are doing it the right way and ask them how and why are they doing it? And what we do is we raise money for the people who are doing it the right way, and then we bring them together into a group. Every month we have a gathering of maybe 70 grassroots leaders who share their success with one another.
Where does this meeting
We do this online. We do this online. In other words, we are solutionists.
Okay, I want to be a part of the solutionist community.
Well, then tune in and walk with us. And so the center, for the last 43 years that I have run this center, we have helped about 3,000 groups to develop self-help efforts within their community, reducing gang violence. My wife and I have housed gang members in our home, my home, who we have he have converted from this predatory lifestyle. In other words, what young people need more than anything else are people to witness to them. They don't need any more advocates. They don't want to hear any more sermons. They need to see a sermon. They need you to get out of your house, go down and engage them and witness to them about what a righteous life looks like and what they can do. And we support healing agents within these communities. And that's what the Woodson Center does. We raise funds for them, we train them, we bring them together so they can share with one another.
Oh my goodness. Mr. Woodson, first of all, Nasir shares that he wants to be a part of this. Nasir, I'm with you. We're going to find out all the information necessary when we come back from this commercial break. Please, family, don't go anywhere. Stay with us because we're coming right back.
WURD is happy to provide our listeners with the opportunity to participate in contests and win prizes. This is a reminder of our contest rules. All participants must be 18 years of age or older, depending on the contest. Persons may win only one prize from the radio station per contest for every 30-day period. Some contests might also specify one winner per household or company. Prizes must be claimed within 14 days or by 12 noon the day before the event, whichever is sooner, and must be accepted as is or forfeited. The radio station employees and their immediate relatives, sponsor employees and their immediate relatives, live remote sponsor employees and their immediate relatives, and any other media employees are ineligible to win the prize. Thank you for participating and for listening to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Did you know that on average, customers who use natural gas from PGW for heating, cooking, and clothes drying save more money on their energy bills per year than those that don't? And right now, a LIHEAP grant from PGW can help you save even more. Don't miss out on up to $1,000 of free money. It's simple. Just text money to 77037 or visit pgworks.com/LIHEAP. That's MONEY to 77037. PGW, helping ease minds this winter.
Family Therapy Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille Ijoy. Voting time in 2024. Yes, voting time in 2024. I hope you did your best and took a little rest. But now it's time to soar for us 2024. Yes, it's voting time. I said it's voting time. Gather women and men on whom you can depend. Take your friends who won't ignore. Cause it's voting time in 2024. Say it with pride. I register, I vote, I must. You may have buttons that say, I register, I vote, I must. Say it on the radio, the TV, the cell phone, or the landline. I register, I vote, I must. This is Dr. Lucille Ijoy. I register, I vote, I must.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, and we are joined with the one and only Bob Woodson. We were talking about the Woodson Center just before the commercial break, and I do want to share that everybody is responding to the information that you just shared. Family, I did share, or I am sharing, the website in the chat. It is thewoodsonCenter.org. And you'll see that right there in the chat. I want to take a moment to go to our phone lines. One of our family members is waiting to join the conversation. Hello, happy Monday, and thank you so much for calling.
Hello, Cal, everybody in Love and Life. Hello to everyone. Mr. Woodson, I changed your name. Your name is, I'll call you, you living historian. You what life is all about with love and life. Is what you give back in life and what you have done, sir. You need to write a book. And the name of that book should be called It Was Like That. Dr. King said, we got some difficult days ahead of us. Your mother and father must have said, but there's a bright side somewhere. And because of this bright side, the age you are, look what you have contributed to South Philadelphia and then to the city of Philadelphia, sir. And it should, I want to mention a couple of names. Do you remember Bill Barrett from South Philadelphia?
Yes.
Do you remember, do the name George Baker ring a bell? Was from down there too, because he had it, and that was Father Divine. He
Yes.
had his, he had his building there where he fed the people. I think it was something around Broad and Wharton. Yeah, Broad and Wharton, he had that. So this whole community with Marian Anderson, Tedley Temple, I remember Ruth Davis, and all of them used to come down South Philadelphia, to that church over there. And because of this love in life and the songs of joy that they put in that community, like many other communities. But when we look at South Philadelphia, sir, and you've probably seen a lot of musicians come through there, stop and think, man, I don't know if you meant Marian Anderson, but you meant, if not, you meant Cal Riddick. Once again, lifting her voice to this country and to this world, sir. And I say, with you and her and people, the doers of South Philadelphia, like Love and Night, they build that museum. They need to put y'all in that museum. Living historians that have given back to their community. That's purpose in life, sir. And you remember, and I know it's many things, when you look down there on South, do you remember, what's his name later? Chubby Checkett. Cal was real young. When he was down on Washington Avenue.
Yep.
The Marian Alonzo, the lady, one of the lady people that raised me, they worked for Marian Alonzo. So I'm saying all these things to you, sir. It's my hope as you write this book. When you write this book and leave it in your memoirs to your community, sir. Hope the Almighty God make you cry. This is what life is all about. Look, you still an ambassador for caring, an ambassador for education, sir. Your family, I don't know what their education was back in the day, but because of you, their living was not in vain. Your living will not be in vain. We didn't die. We didn't die for the right to vote. We lived for something, and because we lived for something, we was able to bring this into existence. And I'd like to say this to you, sir. Remember when Dr. King said these words? We got some difficult days ahead of us, but it really doesn't matter to me now because I've been to the mountaintop. And like any man, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. He have allowed me to go up to the mountain, and I looked over and I seen the promised land. So I'm happy to say tonight I'm not fearing any man, anybody. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. And you're seeing that glory, sir. It's on earth as it is in heaven. Heaven needs no help. That's why he sent you here. And your mother and father brought you all into this world to do some good. Once again, you're living historian. And if any kind of way that they do something, I can come over there and try to be an inspiration. I spoke in Selma, Alabama, at the Edward Petty Bridge, sir. And after we came out of Greensboro and went into Atlanta, and to Atlanta coming out of the Edward Petty Bridge, I changed the name of the bridge. And I told them on the mic system, I said, from this day forward, when John Lewis was with it, I said, Ron changed the name of the Edward Petty Bridge. From this day forward, I named the bridge on the River Kwai, because it was mayhem up on that bridge, sir.
Yes,
but
sir.
because termination, we determined not to let our voting right be just somebody take that away. Because we have our DNA in this country, sir. You're proving it. When I hear someone say that we're not American, that they're not realizing what they're saying. We're in this country. It was not always fair and balanced with us, but look what we have contributed. And I close with this. The FBI, the CIA have our fingerprints on some of everything that was done good in this country. Thank you that you live in this story. Thank you.
Thank you. And your listeners need to know that when I was a kid, we used to go to the Royal Theater on Broad Street that was owned, black owned, where we heard Lionel Hampton, where we heard Nipsey Russell, all that. We owned the Divine Lorraine Hotel, the Mercy Douglas Hospital, Black Hospital.
Oh my!
We had all of this. You know, we had it.
We did. We truly did.
We integrated ourselves out of our own businesses. We're the only people who did that. But it's still not too late. It's still not too late. And that's what the Woodson Center is. We're going back and borrowing these old values and apply them to a new reality. And that's why my grassroots leaders are realizing that we need to stop whining about what white folks did to us and confront the enemy within.
Oh my goodness.
When you have a rapper having 5 pregnant women taking a picture with him saying they're going to have a combined baby shower, that's sick. But no one's speaking out about that. And another one says he's got 12 babies by 6 women, and he's bragging about that. Why are we condemning this self-destructive?
We are condoning.
No, we're silent about it.
We are. I do want to interrupt you for one moment. One of our family members has been waiting to talk with you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No. Please don't apologize. We have a family member online too. Hello, and thank you for your patience. And thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
Yes, thank you so much for calling.
This is Riddick.
Yes.
Yes, my name is Kevin. I'm a former citizen of the city of Chester, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And I just want to say to Mr. Woodson, I met him many years ago at a banquet for Miss Tommy Lee Jones. He was one of the speakers. And I was one of the volunteers that was being honored. And I really appreciate the speech that he gave that night. I don't know if he remembers that, but that was back, I guess, in the early 80s.
Yes.
Wow.
I was back last year, and I'll be there this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was one of the volunteers for Youth in Action. You know, Mr. Tommy Jones.
I just heard from Ike Jones.
Yes. Yeah, I worked for them as a volunteer. And they were really, really, really good people. And they did a lot to help the young people in the city of Chester. And I was proud to be part of that organization.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I was involved in getting the Chester 16 young black men who were wrongly charged with rioting at a football game. We worked for a year to get them released from prison, if you remember.
I remember that, yes.
The Chester 16. I worked with Diane Pound.
Yes.
And Tommy Lee and her husband. Yeah, so I go way back in the Philadelphia area.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think we really appreciate your help, because we did.
Well, I appreciate you for calling in, and if you could be there, I'll be at the banquet this year in March.
All right, where's this going to be?
I don't know. I'll have to get it. But we just did a fundraiser for the Chester, the Frederick Douglass Christian School that was about to close in October. And
right.
The Woodson Center came in with a $150,000 check. And we invited a lot of our donors in the Philadelphia area to come. And as a result, that was People to People Church. Pastor Herb Lusk, who's my close friend, who's no longer with us.
Yeah.
So my roots in Philly go deep, and they're still there.
You know, every time you say something, I have another question about another part of your life. Kevin, I want to thank you for calling. I'm looking at the time, and I want to make sure I say this because, Mr. Woodson, I could truly, like I said, talk to you forever. I am praying that you will come back to visit with us. Will you please
invite me?
It's an open invitation. You just say, Carol, I'm coming to visit, and you are here. But we have so many of our family members that want to be involved, that want to know more information. I have shared the website with everyone. It is the WoodsonCenter.org. That is Woodson, WOODSON And we're going to find out our information so we too can be solutionists. I had to write that down because I like that I'm putting that in my pocket, if you don't mind. But you are just a joy. And just thank you so much for being the human being that you are. Thank you for coming to spend some time with us, for sharing your time, your attention, your knowledge, your spirit with us. It has been a pleasure and a privilege. And again, we hope that you'll come back. Family, it's time for us to take another commercial break. And it's time for Mr. Woodson to leave us for the night. I don't want him to go, but he's coming back. But you, family, whatever you do, don't you go anywhere, okay? Because we've got some other conversations to have when we come back. Thank you so much, Mr. Woodson. Stay with us, family. We'll be right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on Evening Words.
Commissioner Sabir, you have an open invite. Anytime I'm on Evening Words, an open invite. Now, we do this thing called headlines and highlights. And so even before we delve into this story, I want you to, give me a sense of the accuracy of this headline in the Inquirer, because sometimes headlines, they like overstate things or exaggerate things. But the headline is, the Philadelphia City Commissioners ousted their chair as they prepare to run the 2024 election. Can you gloss that headline for us, Mr. Commissioner?
So today at a meeting, the Philadelphia Commission, they voted me to serve as the chair. I was previously the vice chair, and I was voted 2-0 vote to serve as the chair for the upcoming elections.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Evening Words on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Approximately every 2 hours, one Pennsylvanian dies from a drug overdose. These are loved ones, mothers, brothers, grandparents, children, and friends. You never know when you may come across someone experiencing an overdose. Every second counts, and you can save a life by administering naloxone. Learn how to get naloxone by visiting pa.gov/opioids.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Not all people are the same. And yet, when we visit the doctor, our treatments don't look that different. Why is that? Because we just don't have enough information to do it better. By gathering health data from 1 million people, our country's best researchers will be able to develop treatments that are as unique and complex as we are. With this new information, doctors will have a better understanding of disease so they can innovate the next great breakthroughs in medicine. Learn more at joinallofus.org.
Okay, how many people in here have ever been in love? I know none of the guys gonna raise their hand, but how many of y'all ever been in love?
Seasoned singles, listen up. Word Radio is crafting a sophisticated and fun event for singles ages 40 and up. Mark Tuesday, February 13th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on your calendar for the Love and Life Connection event and live broadcast, hosted by Carol Riddick and Dr. Marquita Williams at Bayou in West Philadelphia. This event will feature fun activities where you can meet new people and possibly make a love connection. The evening will also feature a live WURD version of the dating game. Some bachelors have already been selected, but we're looking for one special bachelorette. If you're a single woman aged 40 to 55, able to participate in person, and willing to go on a sponsored date with one of the bachelors, then complete the entry form on the Word website, WURDradio.com. Mark your calendars for the Love and Life Connection event, Tuesday, February 13th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Bayou, 5025 Baltimore Avenue. Stay tuned for more details on event registration and tune in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So, family, you know I'm on 10 tonight because I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be with all of you. I missed you all so much. I so did. I so did. As such, we have such an action-packed evening tonight and so much to share with you that I'm going to stop talking about that in this moment and introduce you to some more phenomenal individuals. If you have just joined us, welcome. How about that? But you did miss the phenomenal Mr. Bob Woodson. So I suggest you go back and listen to the beginning of the show. But because you're here now, guess what? Got some more fun for you. Like I said, some more phenomenal individuals. I would like to introduce you to Ross, Sienna, Rachel, and Christian, who are the cast members of the play, The Cost of Living. Now, they're only here with us for just a few moments, so I want to share them with you and bring them into the room. So without further ado, family, welcome. Hi there. Hello, beautifuls. Hello, handsomes and beautifuls. Welcome to Love and Life. It's a pleasure to have you all here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And so I was sharing with our family members, we don't have you for a very long period of time, but would you please briefly tell us a little about yourselves?
Ladies first.
Well, Sienna, you're muted.
Christian, why you do that?
I'm a gentleman.
I love it.
Hello, I am Sienna Castro. I play Jess in The Cost of Living. I'm an actor based out of Newark, New Jersey, and I am just very happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. We're happy to have you. And gentlemen.
My name is Christian Prentice. I play John in Cost of Living. I'm an actor that's based out of Los Angeles, and I'm very excited to be in Philadelphia for the next 6 weeks, exploring the city's history and culinary delights. And now, the lovely Word.
Well, look, it's restaurant week, so you here at a good time.
I'm in for a treat.
You are definitely in for a treat.
Yeah. And hey, I'm Ross Bechler. I'm an actor right here in Philadelphia, and I'm playing Eddie in our production of Cost of Living at PTC.
Eddie. So we have Eddie, John, and Jess, the characters in the Cost of Living. So, first of all, please tell us about the play. What is the play about? Tell our family members, if you will.
Like themes are like, I mean, loss, love, life, disability. Two of the characters are experiencing severe disability. And both of them come by it different ways, but both of them are in a position where they need to be taken care of. And so a core of the play is this very, very deep human question, about like, how do we care for each other? How do we get the care we need? How do we do that in the society we live in, where care is sometimes even a dirty word that people don't like to talk about or think about. This play puts these four people right squarely up against those problems, those issues, and makes them have to deal with it.
Oh, wow. So in the play, we're taken through the lives of several characters who do they actually experience this is physical disability?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Christian, you might want to talk. Christian, you might want to talk about your character.
Yeah, John is a wealthy PhD student at Princeton who is living with cerebral palsy, and he is in a power chair. So he needs help bathing and dressing and shaving and doing some of the daily tasks to get ready for his life. And he hires Jess to be his caretaker. And they come from, I think, different sides, different ends of the spectrum. And he's very wealthy and she's not. And so it kind of examines not only like ableism, but also like class and financial disparity. And then Eddie, who Ross beautifully plays, him and his ex-wife, Ani has just been in a horrific accident and she is wheelchair bound. She's paralyzed from the waist down and only has a little bit of movement in her hand. And so there's two disabled people in the play and two able-bodied caretakers in the play. And it kind of explores what happens when we have to navigate that world of needing care and our caregivers aren't like professional caregivers. They're either doing it out of an act of love or out of an act of necessity for financial reasons, and what all the costs of living. They're not necessarily financial. Sometimes they're emotional or physical or mental.
That is a lot.
That is a lot.
Oh, no, really. I mean, first of all, it's a lot to process. How do you even prepare to play a character with any disability, but those disabilities especially and particularly?
Well,
I don't know if you can hear me.
Family, I should let you know that we have Rachel. Rachel is on the phone. Rachel is joining us on the phone. Rachel, I wasn't sure if you were there, but Rachel is joining us. She's another cast member, and you're hearing her. That's who you hear that you don't see. So Rachel is joining us on the phone.
I am the faceless voice. Yes, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm just on the train. We just passed Trenton, coming back to Philly. And I just wanted to say that I'm playing Ani in the show, and she is a wheelchair user, and she became disabled in adulthood, which is a tricky transition. She was in a car accident, just like myself. I was in a car accident, and I lost my leg in that accident, and in Ani's case, she became paralyzed from the neck down. So it's been a really interesting journey to sink my teeth into this role and get to play a character who is so like myself, yet completely different in so many ways. But the thing that ties us together is our shared experience of becoming disabled in adulthood and dealing with the physical challenges and also the mental and emotional challenges that come with that as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the question that I have after hearing you, and thank you, Rachel, for volunteering that information. Um, the question that I have is how it has to be emotional, so emotional on so many levels. First of all, processing, the character and processing from your own experiences in life. How do you navigate that? How do you control that? If you do, and if not, how does that work? How do you? I know there were so many questions in there, but jump in, whichever one grabs you.
I mean, I can definitely speak for me because I've been going through this, especially this week. I think before I really answer the question, I think the really interesting part about this play is that you would assume that the disabled bodies would be placed in a position of so much need that the caregivers themselves wouldn't need as much as the people who are requiring care. But the way the play is structured is you see how everybody needs care. And in the case of my character, who's gone through so much with her, she's alone in the country. She's first gen. She is financially unstable, dealing with that. Me as Sienna, like learning to deal with Jess has just it's been hard. But it's kind of like this thing that we talked about earlier in the rehearsal process where like how can we like clock in and like clock out of these characters. So that's been a little bit of something I've been trying so hard and failing at doing.
When you say that, I want to interject if you don't mind. When you say that, because it's been hard, in what ways has it been hard for you?
I think just when you're working on something that's super dramatic and, you really want to do it right. You, as an actor, you put all of your resources into making sure that you do it right. That sometimes it's hard to let, like, for example, if in a show, a character you love passes away, you are going through the phases of grief in order to practice that character. And so you kind of have to like delineate between like what is the character and what is you. And sometimes when you're working for hours and hours on something, it takes a while to get out of it. And the cast knows I do my little TikTok dances in between breaks because that helps me. That takes me out. I have to do my TikTok dances in order to feel like a normal human being again. Guys.
Understandable. That's so okay. So we know that Sienna does TikTok dances to even it out so that she can navigate the emotions with which she is dealing with her character. So Ross, Christian, what is your release? What do you do? And Rachel, what do the three of you do? Do you join Sienna in her TikTok dances?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. But I think, we're also we'll be backstage at some point, spending a lot more time together, and I have a feeling TikTok dances are going to happen.
I do want to share some of our family members are chiming in, and Malcolm is sharing. This is Philly. John, you will gain a few pounds eating here. Definitely. And Eric has a question. He first shares, welcome to the WURD Family Cost of Living cast. Are you all close friends, or did you connect through acting or auditioning for this play?
We're close friends now.
But we all met for the first time on the first day of rehearsal
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow, it feels like a lot longer than that.
It feels like 2 years ago.
It feels like 2 years. it feels like.
I'm sure, because you're going through the full gamut of emotions. So when I was asking a few moments ago, how do you prepare? How do you get into this character, especially because you're dividing a fine line here as it pertains
Yeah.
to, real life.
Yeah, so at least for me personally, I try to draw from my real life experience of
Mhm.
my disability is not an apparent disability. So I have multiple sclerosis. So some of the things from multiple sclerosis kind of present a lot like cerebral palsy. I have muscle spasticity and difficulty speaking sometimes, and trouble walking at times. And so I try to go, how is this character similar to my real life? And then I try to infuse that. And then I go, how is he different? And then I try to explore that. And I try to do it with respect and with humor. And I do a lot of research. I've read a lot of books about cerebral palsy, and I've talked to some of my friends who have it. And I've watched a lot of documentaries and videos, and just to kind of get into the mind of what it's like to live with that condition. And I don't really know if I am able to get out of it, because I'm in it so deeply right now. And because we're still kind of early in the process, but it helps to have somebody always doing a TikTok dance, kind of like add some levity to the situation.
I'm sure it does. See, Sienna, see that? I love that. Ross, I'm looking for you to join these TikTok.
Yeah,
dances.
well, it's funny. One thing, I mean, we've all been, drawing from our own experiences, and I do want to shout our director, Jeffrey Page, who was like, we are dealing with these big, real things that have weight in them, like the act of caring for someone on a steady, long-term basis. It's got weight and cost. And Jeffrey was like, we need to make sure we're bringing this into the room in a real way. So he started convening little, like calling on his networks in Philly and convening people who are caretakers, professional caretakers, family caretakers, people who need caretaking. We've had a lot of like sit down, just round table, just talks with people about lives and experiences. People have like shared some really deeply felt, deeply lived experience, joys and heartaches. And it's been transmitted to us, and I think in a way that has helped us get to where we are pretty quickly. That's been a real gift to have, and also to feel like stories that are coming around from like from the neighborhoods around where we're living have been kind of brought to us to consider and be responsible for. That's been a great gift, and has also helped make the whole story feel very, very deep and personal. I like to think, I've been thinking recently how like, I carry Eddie, like I kind of carry him around like in my pocket, like he's a little stone. And every once in a while I like take him out and worry him and think about him, and then I'll put him away. Like I do have a way where he's, like these characters and their troubles, they're with you all the time. You also just have to have ways of putting it away and, getting through the rest of your day.
I know that takes some doing. Yeah. And it takes some time getting to that point. Like, oh my goodness. So Christian and Rachel, my next question is for the two of you. Both of you shared that you have some challenges of your own. What does it mean or feel like to be in a play that shows us that spotlights challenges in the way that this play does?
Oh, I think this play is so special in that sense. And as Christian so beautifully put, like it's so incredible to like dive into these characters that are so complexly awful and complicated and in transition. So I think this play is such a gift, and I think, disability is 1 in 4 Americans. 1 in 4 Americans have a disability, and I think it's so vastly underrepresented. So getting the chance to be part of a play that really showcases a glimpse into the life of living with a disability is such a gift. And no two disabilities are alike. We're all different, but I think it's such a facet of society that has been ignored for so long that now it feels like we're shining a light on experiences and stories that no one's ever seen before, maybe not even thought about before. So I'm really excited for audiences to get to meet these causes and to glimpse into their lives at such a tumultuous time where everything's sort of in transition.
Wow. Thank you for that, Rachel.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask too, what are some of the things that you would like for the audience to take away, from seeing this play? But Rachel, I think you kind of summed it up there when you were talking,
Yeah.
But if any of you would like to add anything more to that, feel free to do so.
Yeah. Just to go back to the first question, it feels great to play a disabled person and have them be presented in like a fully realized human way, not just someone you pity, not just someone you kind of ignore or feel bad for. Every character in this play is a real, fully fleshed out human with wants and desires and ugly parts and beautiful parts and humor and nastiness, and they're complex in all of the best ways that humans are complex. And it's just great to play a fully realized version of that and to not just let it be, oh, you're just the disabled person. And some of the things that I want audiences to take away from this play is exactly that. I want them to realize that disabled people have the same hopes and dreams and aspirations as an able-bodied person, that we still want to be loved. We still want to feel seen, feel acknowledged. We still crave physical intimacy. We still crave human connection, and that we're really at our core, we're not different. We all are the same underneath.
And thank you to the both of you. Thank you so much for adding that, Christian, because I have such a problem with the word disability and disabled. I have such a problem with those two words because the stigma attached, number one, and because there's I can't even put it into words, but I'd prefer to say challenged, because we all have challenges. We all have challenges. We all have challenges. And when you say disabled or disability, there's another thought process that happens. But when you say, well, I'm challenged with this or I'm challenged with that, then it kind of lessens the perspective or the thought, in my own opinion. But I know it does for me. It does for me. Family, I want you all to know when and where this play will take place, but it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. Know that the phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. When we come back, they're going to tell us where and when and how we can see this play. So stay with us, because we're coming right back.
Represent! Want the latest in word swag? Check out the shop tab on wordradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. It's the shop tab on wordradio.com. You can look good and show the world that you're all about Black Talk Media.
Hey, girl, what are you doing here? Aren't you going to be late for work?
Yeah, girl, I had to get my coffee and my lottery tickets.
You still play the lottery? You think you're going to win?
Says who? There's always a chance. Besides, even if I don't win, I'm helping out older Pennsylvanians in my community with each lottery ticket I buy.
How so?
Well, the PA lottery was started as a way to fund programs for seniors in our state. They've contributed over $30 billion to many programs.
$30 billion with a B?
Yes, billion. The money goes to programs for property tax and rent rebates, free or reduced rides, low-cost prescriptions, home care services, and more.
I had no idea.
Yep, the PA lottery is the only state lottery whose proceeds benefit older citizens.
You know what? I think I'll get a few lottery tickets too.
There you go. Could you get me a coffee while you're at it?
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Problem gambling, helpline 1-800-GAMBLER.
We've all felt left out. And for people who move to this country, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We have been talking with the cast members of the play that I know you want to see. It's called The Cost of Living. It's called Cost of Living, not the. I
Yeah,
added
no,
the.
the.
There's no the. It's titled Cost of Living. Yes, we're talking with Sienna Castro, Ross Beschler, Rachel Handler, and Christian Prentice. All of the cast members who are sharing, and I know I want to see it. I know you do too. I know you do. I know you do. So I was sharing before the commercial break that when we come back, they're going to share with us all of the information we need so that we can support. I do want to share with you that some of our family members are checking in. Miss Lily is sharing love, and Miss Rosalind shares that being disabled for the last 23 years, she believes it's a harsh word, but being challenged, that God has kept her to be able, makes it challenging. She can still move and know that she's capable of doing anything her heart desires. I know that's right. She thanks God for keeping her in a stable mind, body, soul, and spirit to keep moving on, and she can definitely relate. You know what, Miss Rosalind, you know I just love you to pieces. So do. And we are so grateful that you're joining us. And she shares that she gives you all your flowers while you can still stand alone. Don't put limitations on someone's life. Allow them to move on at their own pace and be loved like everyone else. Thank you. Love life for always, loving each other. Oh, I love you. I love you, Miss Rosalind. Thank you so much for that. So, family, Sienna, Christian, Ross, and Rachel, tell us where, when, how.
From February 2nd to February 18th, you can catch us at the Philadelphia Theater Company at the Suzanne Roberts Theater. And you can reach us at philadelphiatheatercompany.org. We open February 7th, but we'll be running from February 2nd to February 18th.
Yeah, we're right there. The theater's right there on Broad Street. Right there. What is it? Lombard.
Lombard. And right, we got there. We were trying, but we got there. So that's the philadelphiatheatercompany.org. Is that correct? And from February 2nd through February 18th at the Philadelphia Theater Company at the Suzanne Roberts Theater. I see I was typing a little fast there. So I don't know why I'm having a problem with the word the tonight, but there you have it. Family, so that's Cost of Living, running from February 2nd through February 18th at the Philadelphia Theater Company at the Suzanne Roberts Theater, right there in Broad and Lombard. We know because we go, we support. We do. We support. And if you want additional information and to purchase tickets, you can go to philadelphiatheatercompany.org. Oh my goodness. So I want to know before you all leave us if there's anything that you will leave us with before you go.
Yeah, I'm really excited for people to see this play because I think it's ultimately it's about something that I'm really thinking a lot about in the world right now is like how do people really learn to care for each other? Sure. I think a lot of the characters in the play didn't really have a good language or way of caring for themselves or other people before they were dealing with some of the conditions in the play. And it's interesting that although there's a lot of tragedy and awfulness in it, it provides them surprising opportunities to learn something that they might not have learned about how important other people can be and how to care for other people. And I just think that's something I'd really like people to see.
That's a gift right there. And Sienna, you said something when you were talking about being a caregiver, your role, Jess, being a caregiver. Uh, it's so, what you said was so right about people not really taking or not even realizing, maybe not taking into consideration, but not realizing that the caregiver needs care too. And so I'm anxious to see the play. I will be there. I will be there supporting you all. And I'm looking forward to supporting all of you. I want to thank you, Sienna, Rachel, Ross, Christian, for just coming and sharing just some love with us. Just thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this information with us so that we can support family. Once again, I want to let you know that's cost of living running from February 2nd through February 18th, right? The Philadelphia Theater at Suzanne Roberts, Broad and Lombard. We got it. We got it. We got it. But thank you. Thank you. Will you all come back to visit with us again?
Please.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Say what?
And Rachel, thank you for joining us from the train. Poor baby. Thank you so much. I know.
Thank you
She
for
said, I'm
having me. I'm so bummed my train is delayed.
Well, be careful and be safe. Okay. Be careful out there. All right. So I'm going to say goodbye to you all and thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Family. Hey there. Hey there. Hey there. I'm still here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick. I told you we had an action-packed night, didn't I? I know I did. I know I did. And if you were paying attention, I'm going to test you right now. If you were paying attention to the commercial that aired, our beloved Tiffany Bacon shared with you about our upcoming event, the Love and Life Connection event. Yes, yes, yes. That will take place on February 13th. I know you want to know all about it. I know you do. I know you do. Well, guess what? Right now, we have another family member that is going to join us. And I know she's no stranger to the WURD family, but it's her first time visiting with us right here on Love and Life. Family, I invite you to the conversation with Cheri Syphax. Yes, I do. Hello there, beautiful.
Hello, how are you?
I will not complain.
Me neither.
Right? Why?
Living is freezing, but that's okay. Because I can snuggle with my husband.
Oh, well, God bless you. Okay. I'm around here looking like the Michelin man with my little puffy coat. I'm telling you, I promise you, if anybody just plucks me, I'm just going to roll. But listen, so I know we don't have a lot of time, with you. I know it's an abbreviated visit. So first, thank you. Thank you for making time, for taking time to come. But Cheri is here to talk with us, okay, about love after 40.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, wait, there was a lot in that giggle, a lot in that laugh, Cheri.
Yeah, I think for multiple reasons, because one, especially for I think Black women, professional women, at a certain point, society will have you believe that there are not a lot of options for love. And so from that perspective, a lot of times women feel that, is it in the cards for me? Am I deciding to go ahead and assume that I'll be living the rest of my life as a single person, and things like that. So I think that that's a really important demographic of people to have conversations with and to talk about love, because it is absolutely there, available. There are a lot of healthy men who want really great relationships, and that the women in that demographic are perfect for them.
Cheri, where are they? No, just teasing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But guess what? I asked that question because we have our upcoming event, and we're going to we're going to make some connections, make some things possible.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. February 13th, they can come through to the Bayou Lounge at 5025 Baltimore Avenue. And that is where we will be hosting Word event. And we are excited to be in partnership with Word because my husband and I really believe in the strength of our community. First, really hinges on, the health of our individuals, but then on love. And so the more love that we have, the better our communities are. So we're really excited about this partnership.
Well, and first of all, thank you for that as well. Thank you so much. A tremendous thank you. Why do you personally think there's a stigma about finding love after, as a good and grown adult? Why, from where did that come?
I think that we have definitely focused on, in our community, I don't see it in any other community, but in our community, we've definitely focused on what we aren't doing in relationship. There's a lot of men saying this about women and women saying this about men. So whether it's deadbeat dads, whether it's, men that want to go 50-50, or it's women who are too masculine, or, women don't allow us to lead. There's been a lot of discourse around that. And I think social media perpetuates it. And so as a result, there is a stigma around, women that are successful and aren't married, and then men asking, well, why aren't they married? What's wrong with them? And things like that. And so I think there's some things societally that really support that narrative and that trope. And I think it also allows for people, depending on what you're consuming, you can tend to believe that. And so that's why, mindset is really, really important. And a lot of thinking about, again, what are you consuming? Who am I around? I talk often about when I wanted to be married, I surrounded myself with women who, from what I could perceive, had healthy relationships, healthy marriages. Why? Because I was in the medical device industry. Doctors hang around doctors. A lot of times lawyers hang around lawyers. So if I want to be a really great doctor, I'm going to look at doctors that are in my field and my specialty to mentor me. I'm going to study with people who are trying to do the thing that I'm trying to do. So I took that as a woman who was of a more mature age in a new area coming into Philadelphia, and intentionally seeking out people who had acquired some of the things that I wanted to, and marriage, a healthy marriage was one of those things. And so I just think it's really, really important for us to lean into, like, what's my goal? And then how do I get there? Am I around, a group of women all the time, which it's great to have girlfriends, and I have a lot of them, but now most of my girlfriends are married or in really strong relationships. And those that aren't married, we're influencing, and now they're getting intentional about what they ultimately want and maybe why they haven't gotten it, because sometimes it requires that we look in the mirror too and understand accountability. For me, that was really, really huge. What am I doing? And why am I not getting where I'm trying to get to? One, I'm staying in relationships too long. Two, I don't let a man lead. Three, I'm the same energy that I'm working in in my workspace, I'm bringing home. So there's a lot of reasons. And if I want to get different, I personally needed to do a little differently. So, so I think, and as you mature, that becomes more and more of a conversation point, because you're running out of time and some people's thought process. And so I think that that's why there's a lot of that narrative out there around mature women.
Thank you for that. Family, hey there. I'm talking to you. If you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. And we are joined with our beloved family member, Cheri Syphax. Yes, we are. And we're talking about love, specifically and particularly as a good and grown adult. Yes, we are.
Good and grown. I love it.
Okay, good and grown.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about, family. I want to remind you all, for those of you who are aware, but for those of you who are unaware, I want to let you know that Love and Life has an event coming up. Yes, we do. How about it's our first in-person event? Okay. I mean, Nick, I think I need some more cheers for that.
Yes.
It's our first in-person event. Yes. Yes. And we're talking about love. You know, that's what we do here anyway. We talk about love. We talk about life. But it's just more than that. A little more than that. We're going to try to help you find love at this event. Come on now. Come on now. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. But in this moment, we're going to go to a short commercial break. When we come back, Cheri, I want to find out how you and your husband met because I mean, it sounds so wonderful how intentional you were. I want to know if he was, on the same quest as intentional and how you two came together. All that good stuff. I want to know all the good stuff, and I know you'll be here with us for just a short amount of time, but I'm going to try to get all the information I can for the amount of time that you're with us. So, family, guess what? We're going to take a commercial break. The phone lines are still open, so you still have time to talk with us and join the conversation, or you can continue to comment on our socials. Whatever you do, though, stay with us because we're coming right back.
This is a public service announcement. The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. Ward's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent openings posted on the Livelihood job board at wordworks.com. The Public Health Management Corporation is hiring for several exciting roles, including a dental assistant, payroll manager, and home health occupational therapist. For more information on these jobs and others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative. Brought to you by Word Radio, progressive Black talk media.
April 5th was a breakthrough day.
Once there was a very silly bear.
During a well visit at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia Primary Care, Zach got his very first book.
Let's point to the bear.
And his mom got advice and support about the importance of reading to her 9-month-old.
Very good.
The Reach Out and Read program at CHOP has helped thousands of families open a whole new world for their children through early reading.
Right, he's right there.
Every day, Children's Hospital is making breakthroughs for kids. Some big, some small, all wondrous.
And they had a very good day.
Zach's breakthrough? Lots of happy endings that add up to a great beginning. What can we do for your child today? Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Breakthroughs every day. Yours begins at chop.edu.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are joined with our beloved family member, Cheri Syphax. I do want to share that our family members are checking in. Ruben Mills shares his Monday. Love y'all. Well, we love you back, Ruben. Yes, we do. Darren Toms. Hey there, Smitty. He's sending a hello to everyone. And Nasir, I did see your question about the play. I'm going to find out. He wants to know if they'll come out for a meet and greet. I want to know the same thing. So I'm going to find that information out. Harry is joining us. He's sending love as well. Miss Joanne Dormans shares some love with you. She says, hi, Cheri.
Hey.
Mardia shares that she is excited about the event. Mardia Reed, that's my boo. Hey there, beloved. And Harry has a question. Do we have to register for this event? Yes. All the information that you need can be found on the Word Radio website. There is a registration link, and you know I shared it on my socials too. It's there as well. All the information that you need. Eric shares, hello, Mrs. Syphax. Welcome to the family. I just wanted to say, I don't know how many birthdays and Mother's Day celebrations I've had at Booker's Restaurant. I have so many fond memories, great food, great venue, and great staff. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
You know what, to that point, I have to say that I agree with Eric because I went to Booker's. Let me tell you something. I love grits. Okay. Grits. What? That's not the only thing, but when I tell you the first thing I had at Booker's that I said, if I don't eat anything else, I will have nothing but the grits. When I go.
Smooth and creamy, and they are a lot of butters in them.
I know. I know it's sinful. It is. Okay. So just thank you for giving me that little, that bowl of deliciousness. Okay.
We appreciate it.
The food is amazing. And the staff. There was one member, I really wish I knew her name. I should have asked her, but she greeted me like we grew up together.
Probably
I said, oh my goodness, I love her. I love her.
Yeah, she's.
Wait, Eric says, yes, Booker's is the bomb. Grits with a pound of real butter. Yeah. Yes, and I love every pound of it. Okay. So, family, before the break, I was sharing with you about the Love and Life Connection event that is coming up on February 13th. And Cheri, Mrs. Syphax herself, has joined us. First of all, thank you for taking the time to come. Because, family, I have to let you know that it was a last minute thing. I was knocking. Cheri, can you come, please? So thank you for obliging and accommodating us.
Absolutely.
But I'm so curious to know about how you and your husband met.
Yeah, so Tracy and I met online. Yep. So for those of you who have apprehensions about dating online, there are a lot of love stories, and there are a lot of successful relationships that come from online dating. So that was my first time online dating. My husband dated online pretty regularly. One, because he lives in a small city. We live in Trenton when we're not in Philadelphia. And two, he's like written a book and things like that. So it was just easier. And he's pretty much of an introvert. So it was just easier for him to date online. For me, it was my first time, and it was the week after COVID. I was like, oh, we are locked in. And I had been saying I wanted to be really intentional about my dating, and had dated a couple people in Philly and had a great dating experience, but just got to the point where they just knowing that they weren't for me. And that's okay. Just because it's not a fit with that particular person does not make them a bad person. Far too often I see online where women are like, he was a narcissist and he did this and he did that. Rarely do they say, I did this or I participated in this way. But it's like they villainize any person that they're no longer in a relationship with. And sometimes it's just not compatibility with where you're trying to go. So that's how I looked at both of those relationships. But I was like, they showed me things that I really wanted in a relationship. So for that, I was appreciative of them. And we should always be able to have some level of appreciation for every journey that we've been on, whether it ends the way we want to or not. There's still something to learn from that. So I took all the things that I'd been working on, evolving, meditating, praying, all those things, and then those experiences in those relationships, and just kind of my life's journey and the arc of it. And I was like, I'm gonna go online. Like, there's nothing to lose. I don't know how long we're gonna be in. I'm in this house by myself. So I went online. I put together a really nice bio because, like I say, we were on 2020, the 24 months that changed the world with Deborah Roberts. And I say, I'm in sales and marketing. So if I can't market myself, then, that's really bad. So I used to help women with, and actually, if somebody registers for the event, maybe I'll help you with your online bio. Because I used to help women write their bios, because a lot of times women are like, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, or don't swipe on me if this, and that's just not an inviting approach. So I just was like, hey, I'm a girl from the Bay living in the city of brotherly love. And then I just talked about all the things that I loved to do. And from what my husband said, he was like, your life looked interesting and something that I wanted to join. And so he came on in, and we have pretty much been inseparable. But the other thing that I did was I dated as much as I could during COVID. I dated not only my husband, but other people. Not and I think that was helpful, because what I used to do is date one person and then get all into them, and then almost not be stalkerish, but just be so into them, and really hadn't even vetted if that was going to be the relationship for me or not, but just putting all my focus on them. So, I share with my husband that I wanted to be married, and it did not have to necessarily be to him, but I was going to be dating with the intention of getting married. And for men who prioritize marriage, I would prioritize them in my dating rotation. And so I think he was a little like, I can't believe she even said that. And women ask me all the time, so you told your husband you want to get married? And I said, absolutely, because if he didn't want to get married, that was his opportunity to say, hey, that's great, but that's not where I'm at right now, so we can hang out and be friends. And then all the expectations are set.
Sure.
Sometimes we're too afraid to have those real conversations. And like you said, we real grown. So I'm real grown, and there's no need for me to, spend a lot of time with someone who doesn't have the same vision for their life that I have for mine. And so I shared with him that, and it was great, because times when he was busy and didn't return my phone call or whatever, then like I could go out with the next person, and it worked really, really well. And then we finally met in person. So we dated kind of online, Zoom videos, things like that, for about 2 months. And then our first date in person was on May 22nd of 2020. And he wanted to go out to a restaurant. We couldn't. And kind of funny that we have a restaurant now, but so I made my house into a restaurant. I had a friend of mine who's a chef. We had a maitre d', I had a violinist, and all this stuff.
You weren't playing.
No, because I really liked him.
Yes.
And not only that, but I also wanted him to know who I was. Like, that's the kind of stuff I like to do, really nice things, nice events and stuff like that. And so like, this is who I am. So if it's over the top, you get your first glance at it, and you can tell me, you can make a decision.
It's not for you. If this is over the top for you, then this is not for you. I love your intention. It was strategic and intentional. I love that, because that's me. I love that.
And so he came, loved it, and really kind of has never left.
Why would he?
Yeah, for the most part, never left. And then June-ish, he was like, I just want you to be exclusively mine. So we talked about what that looked like. And I said yes. And then New Year's Eve of that same year, he asked me to marry him. And we got married May 22nd, 2021. So an exact year from the date that we saw each other, and the day after the city of Philadelphia opened up for COVID. So I got to have a quasi-regular wedding. We had multiple iterations of it, but they opened up on the 21st of May, and my wedding was on the 22nd. So
what a story.
That is it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's beautiful. A beautiful. Yes, it is.
New York Times, O Magazine. We were on 2020. For that story, really, we were in Philly Mag. It really resonated. And I think I am a transplant, have been here almost 10 years now, but I love Philadelphia so much. And so Philly Mag picked it up and kind of talked about finding love in the city of brotherly love. And then I think at the time, because we were all so captured, like at that moment, people started hearing about our story. And for Black women, for women at the time, when my husband asked me to marry him, I was 50. So, just again, that hope and inspiration of we can, find love, and it may be in a non-traditional way. So for me, it was online, which I think is pretty standard now. It's pretty mainstream. But yeah, it was really a beautiful experience, and I'm very, very fortunate that me and him got together, because it's been a really beautiful ride.
It sounds like divine orchestration.
Yeah, definitely.
And I really do appreciate your, like I said, your strategy and your intention, because like you said, you were ready. And
Oh
you were
yeah.
making it known that this is who I am and I am ready. So if this is not for you, then so be it. Harry, I see you. I see your comment. Harry shares that he needs some tips. You need tips on your profile. You need tips on dating. What do you need tips on? No, what is it? What do you need tips on, Harry? Let us know because Cherie says she's willing to offer some assistance. With a
Yeah,
profile.
we go to the
With
event
getting
on
your
the
profile.
13th.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. If you register for the event, the Love and Life Connection event that is taking place on February 13th. Cherie, I just want to say thank you again
You're welcome.
because you really did accommodate and you showed up and look, you showed out. Look.
No,
But we
no,
thank you. We just thank you.
I love my word family, and so absolutely, I love love. Period. And so anytime I can have a conversation about it, I am all more than willing to do that.
Well, you have an open invitation to come back. You know
Oh,
that.
thank you. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to be able to be on with you this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and privilege. It truly is. And I will be back at Booker's before I'm
Please,
even at the Bayou. So
please. Yeah, looking forward to you,
Listen,
Marquita, for sure.
Malcolm says he wants some of those grits. Malcolm, I tell you, you do want some of those grits. Family, here we are. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm so happy to be back with you all. Thank you once again, Cherie, and we will see you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone.
Family, oh my goodness. Just here we are. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. I'm going to go through this quickly because we're at the end and we've had a full night, haven't we? I'm so happy to be back with you. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes. Happy birthday once again to all of our birthday love bugs. To the entire Word family, Niall, Nick, especially. Thank you for all that you do. Condolences to the King family on the loss of Dexter Scott King, the son of civil rights leaders Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. To all of our guests, just my extreme thanks. Just thank you so much to you, family. Thank you to our callers, to all of you family members. Thank you so much. Remember that we're all in this together. So be good to you, please, but be good to those around you. Have a great rest of your night. Be sure to join me. I will be here all week, family, just to let you know. Yes, I will, because I've missed you so much. I will see you tomorrow, God willing, because I'm planning to be here, right here on Love and Life on WURD. Have a good night, family. I love you, but God loves you so much more.